Welcome back to Busted Open. As promised, one of the best technicians in the squared circle. Also, a hell of an entertaining personality. You see her on Total Divas. I wish I saw more of her in the wrestling ring. We'll get to that. But to start with one of my favorites, Natalya, you got to give me the lowdown on this incredible promotion. I'm still scratching my head exactly what you're going to be doing with Grumpy Cat and Nala Cat for Friskies today here in New York City. Give us the scoop here, Natty.
Well, thank you for the nice introduction. Yeah, I mean, as far as what we're doing in New York City, we're celebrating SummerSlam, which everybody is so excited about. It's really, I mean, besides WrestleMania, this is, one of our biggest events of the year. And I think everybody knows, especially if you guys watch Total Divas, even if you follow me on Instagram, that I'm just like a crazy cat lady, and I'm really proud of it.
So you don't mind being called crazy cat lady?
Don't mind
or crazy
at all.
cat lady?
Or just cat lady?
I'm almost in a competition with Paige over who's the craziest cat lady. I'm like, listen, back off a bit, because that's my that's my thing. Okay, you do the screaming and all that stuff, and I'm the cats. Like, I own the cats. So no, but we're excited to partner with Friskies, and we actually, very much like WWE as far as giving back to the community. Friskies has something they're doing in New York to help cats in need. And when I heard about that and I was asked to, take part in it, I was really excited because I work with a local organization back home in Tampa, and we actually just a few months ago helped find homes for almost 20 cats. And just raising awareness about, these cats in need, and Friskies is actually donating one meal for every time somebody uses the hashtag Team Tender or Team Saucy. So with that being said, the two cat representatives, which by the way, these cats are like divas.
Grumpy Cat is it? We saw Grumpy Cat on Raw. That was quite a diva cat.
I've never seen a group of talent, superstars and divas, freak out so much over a cat. When you see Randy Orton going, "I got a picture with Grumpy Cat," you're like, Randy, you're the Viper.
Wow.
Yeah, we were all just so excited to see this. Even Cesaro, he was like, "I saw the cat." Everybody we were just ecstatic. So Grumpy, basically, She's grumpy. She's a diva. Everything has to be on her terms. I don't know if she was thrilled about Nala being there, but I'm not going to even bring that up because I think it might be. They both seem to have egos.
You might have a cat fight on your hands.
Exactly.
But
thanks. I had to.
But it's funny because they've Friskies is kind of, it's really cute actually. They've involved the cats in their campaign, and it's Team Tender and Team Saucy. So Grumpy is Team Saucy, and Nala is really sweet, and she's Team Tender. Although Nala did growl at me yesterday slightly, and I heard that growl. And I don't forget about when people or cats growl at me.
I could imagine.
Well, I've always been a dog guy, and I'm engaged now, and my fiance has two cats.
Ooh.
And the biggest difference I found between dogs and cats are dogs live for you, and cats think everybody lives for them. They think they own everywhere they go.
Oh,
they
do.
are divas, cats.
Such divas, and divas with a good intentions. Like I said, yeah, we met Grumpy and Nala, and they were both total divas. Pardon the pun. But I had to stand in between them when we were doing this photo op because they were like, oh, they can't look at each other because they're both going to freak out. But Nala represents Team Tender and Grumpy represents Team Saucy. So for every time somebody uses that hashtag, a meal is donated, and they're going to donate over 10,000 meals.
That's
very
great.
cool.
And I would have had my cats involved in it, but they had prior commitments, and they are working on their rap album. So
Well, I worry about. I think it was the large one that you guys pet like a dog quite often, because that I remember the episode. It must have been last year when you lost the cat. The cat was gone at the crazy house party. At
yeah,
your
that was
place.
Cameron that actually lost my cat. Ariane.
Damn Cameron.
Yeah, she lost my cat. And then a couple episodes back, we had adopted 19 rescue cats because I couldn't say no, and I have a big problem saying no. So anyway, TJ almost divorced me because I took in 19 cats without telling him. I figured I could explain it later, but
you do a lot of that, by the way.
I know.
I'll explain later never works.
Including your sister's living with you now. You don't. Oh, by the way, she's here for a few days. I love his line on the show. She's got 4 bags. What's the 4 bags all about?
And I said she's here for 4.5 days. But I figured Jenny could help us. Once TJ saw Jenny and the way she interacted with the cats, he'd feel like it was just an extra hand to give the cats love. But one of those rescue cats actually did sneak out through our on our patio during the episode.
Mhm.
Like anything that could have gone wrong that day did go wrong. So I called my mom and I was like, "You got to get over here. We have to find this cat," because the people at Rebels Rescue, the lady, like they. We were trying to find these cats' homes. I didn't need the cat going missing in my backyard where there are alligators and everything else.
This is the new house or the old house?
Both homes have like these marshy
Jeez.
back. Yeah, Florida is like that.
Crazy.
Florida's like that. And my dad was like, "Well, we're never going to find this cat. He's in the woods now." I'm like, "Daddy, you go in the house right now. You're not allowed to be out here. You're supposed to lie and tell them we're going to find the cat." We did find the
my
cat,
God.
but 6 cans of tuna fish later, we found the cat.
So we got to ask, because the Busted Open Nation knows how serious TJ's injury was. I'm not sure how many people realize the significance if they followed him, on Twitter or your Instagram. Like his picture of his neck after surgery was really like that. That was the stark, somber reminder of how serious it was. How's the rehab going? How is he doing? And how are you doing? I mean, this is obviously your love. This is your hobby. Tell us about TJ and his recovery.
Well, TJ is doing great. I was just joking with our WWE reps earlier that TJ and John Cena are having like a competition who can be the most mutant-like, because we'd always joke whenever John would get injured or have a problem, like he would just like miraculously heal. And it's funny, I saw John the other day in the hallway, and I was like, I had completely forgotten about his nose.
Yeah.
You guys remember when?
Oh, of course we do.
We remember.
How could
Yeah.
We
we
did
forget?
shows on that. Yes.
And so, I saw John in the hallway, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I forgot that you even had a broken nose." Because John's like, "What broken nose? I'm fine. Everything's good." So TJ is really strong, and he's doing great, and it's great that we have each other, and we're having, we moved into this new house, and we're finally getting to kind of enjoy our new house together, and just taking it one day at a time. So, and the cats are basically in cat heaven. They're like so happy that TJ is home, and TJ's sending me, like, every time I'm at work or anything, he'll send me like 5, 10, 15, 20 cat photos a day. You're like, Louie had his pop like this, and Machiavelli was drinking his water and got a wet chin. And anyway, I realized that actually maybe I'm not the crazy cat lady, maybe TJ is.
See, I get those pictures too. I don't know how to respond. Like I see the pictures, all right, they're cute, and
Yeah.
I don't know what the correct response is to those pictures. Sometimes I'm just like LOL or smiley face.
Yeah.
I'm not
well,
really sure how to respond to some of those pictures.
Anyway, let's talk about SummerSlam, because like you said it's one of the bigger shows, sans WrestleMania.
Huge.
To me, you're looking at a 4-hour show at Barclays. It's an amazing confluence of events that a sellout of NXT, a sellout, obviously, a SummerSlam, but a 4-hour show with a card that looks almost like a WrestleMania card.
Right.
And then a sellout of Raw, all in the same building.
Crazy.
It's unbelievable. Taking over Brooklyn, taking over New York City. This really is what WWE does. Tell us about just the feeling behind SummerSlam as a company, as you basically take over New York here, and then obviously head to Brooklyn for 3 huge days.
Yeah, it's like, first of all, NXT is one of my favorite shows. Like anybody that has the network or watches, like TJ and I are constantly watching. Well, TJ watches the network 24/7, but NXT is one of my favorite shows. I started watching NXT from the very beginning. I was part of, when it was first kind of getting off the ground. You go back to that match I had with Ric
Sure.
Flair's daughter, Charlotte. And
that amazing match, by the way.
thank you. And I feel like so much pride as far as NXT goes. Like I just feel real love for it because I've seen it from the very beginning. And so it's so impressive to say that NXT is not just, where developmental talent go to learn. It's actually become an entity of its own. It's become like it's gotten this huge following, and
It's its own brand.
it really is. And I love watching that show. It's one of my favorite shows. And then obviously SummerSlam is huge, and it's cool that we actually get to be in the same place 3 nights in a row. But there's something about New York that is very special, and I know this not just from working in the WWE, but just from growing up in a family of wrestling.
Sure.
And with my dad and my uncles, and I mean, New York City is Heart Foundation territory.
No doubt.
And I remember a few years ago they had a tribute to Bret. They did like a Bret Hart Appreciation Night, and it was just like Bret said New York is one of his favorite places to wrestle because he just feels such an overwhelming amount of love. So I think all the WWE divas and superstars, especially if you ever had a dream to do this when you were young, this is where you go to really honor that. The fans, sometimes they can be very brutally honest, but they're very sophisticated here in their knowledge of what they like, what they don't like, who they respect, who they don't respect, and I personally just respect that. So the crowd's going to be insane. It's going to be. I feel like this is just as special as WrestleMania, especially because of the ties that WWE has with New York. It's like this is our stomping ground.
And it's weird too when you look at the whole landscape of the WWE and anywhere you are. We just saw it on Monday where The Undertaker's getting booed and Brock Lesnar's getting cheered, but that can be a completely different story on Sunday at Barclays.
Anything can happen. That's the crazy, fun, wonderful, unpredictable world of the WWE universe. Anything can happen. The fan favorite can get booed, and then all of a sudden you're like, what do we do now? And that's the beauty of WWE is that we all, I guess we're all professional improv artists.
You have to be.
No matter what happens, you just have to keep going. And you look back a few years ago at the Royal Rumble. I remember when fan favorite Rey Mysterio came out for whatever reason at that moment in time. The fans they were like, we want it's because
they wanted Daniel Bryan.
They wanted Daniel
because
Bryan.
they were so behind Bryan, and it wasn't that they didn't like Ray, but they made a stand.
Yep.
And so
tough being that 30th guy out when it's like, damn it, where's Daniel?
Exactly. So our fans are, like I said, I appreciate them. Even when it's 5 o'clock in the morning and I don't have any makeup on and they want a picture at the airport, I'm like, you appreciate them. You understand that when, for me, I wrestled for my uncles when I first started doing this. I performed in front of 9 people, on a reservation in northern Alberta, Canada. And,
wow.
You appreciate those 9 people that came because they wanted to see you. And then you wrestle in front of 90,000 people. And you're like, to me, the feelings never go away. The butterflies, it's in your heart.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, and I said this to start the interview, and I truly mean it, in terms of not just female wrestlers, but wrestlers. You are a tactician in the ring. We love watching you perform. And then there's times where I'm like, where is Natty? And I look at the Divas Revolution, which I think is fantastic. And I know that you're probably the person waving that flag back there.
You've been waving that flag.
Yeah, and you have.
Yeah.
At the same time, I'm like, why isn't Natty in this mix with these, you got these 3 great teams and all the gals are great and incredible talent. Like you said, Charlotte, but Sasha and Becky, and who knows what's to come with a Bayley, at NXT. Incredible talent. But you're you, and I want to see you in the ring. So what's the feeling behind this in terms of, yeah, you're great and you're there and you're happy for everybody, but you're not in it?
Well, it's funny. I should probably hire both of you to work for me outside. I'm just kidding. Well,
no, go ahead.
Let me know. Yeah,
I'll give you my card after we're done here. Okay.
Every single thing I wanted to talk about, you guys are bringing up because obviously everybody's talking about the Divas Revolution, and again, it goes back to NXT. It goes back for the feelings that I have about NXT, and same with my husband, TJ. We both just have this deep passion for NXT because I felt like one of the first real big opportunities of my career to actually prove myself in the ring was given to me by Triple H at NXT when he gave me the opportunity to wrestle Charlotte Flair. And I remember thinking when I put that match together, I actually went and I trained and, worked on everything. I worked on my submission wrestling. I worked on my conditioning. I trained for it like it was a fight, like a real fight, because in order to convey that to the audience, you actually have to go there yourself. Yeah. And for me, wrestling is in my, it's inside of me. You can't teach it. You can't, to have that passion. It's just something that you feel, and you go to bed thinking about it. You wake up thinking about it. I'll be buying frozen yogurt and thinking about something I want to do in the ring, or, that would be a cool submission, or it's just something that's inside of me, and you can't explain that. And the girls that are coming in for this revolution, I couldn't be more proud of them. You look at Charlotte Flair. 3 years ago, I met her. She was a shell back then of what she is now. I remember we were having this discussion about, we were in the locker room and she had just gotten signed by WWE, and she's like, I don't know. I just feel like I'm not good enough, pretty enough, this, that. And I remember talking to her because I was like, man, I felt that way too. When I first got signed by WWE, I'd already been in Japan and Calgary and actually all over the world wrestling. But I got to WWE and I was just so flabbergasted that I got the job that I almost wasn't, I was like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't think I'm good enough. And so it's such a refreshing thing to see where Charlotte is now. She just has exploded into this, awesome talent. And I feel like we we were able to showcase that in this beautiful match. And like I said, not to digress, but the girls are just doing so great in this Divas Revolution. And that is the question that I get asked about the most. Where are you? Where's Natty? If we're doing a storyline about women's wrestling and an explosion of women's wrestling for the first time in years in WWE, the one woman in the WWE that really embodies women's wrestling is Natty, and she's not anywhere around this storyline. But I also believe that WWE, powers that be, there's a rhyme and a reason for everything. And it's right now we're really just introducing these new girls. So I think timing is everything. And I have faith in the fact that eventually, Natty will be a part of it. And, talent can't be stopped. And that's the one thing that my Uncle Brett has always instilled in me. If you're good at something, it can't be stopped, and especially if you feel it in your heart. And the fans, our WWE fans, they want to be entertained, and they respect talent. They respect people that are good at what they do, like Cesaro, Daniel Bryan, like Tyson Kidd. You look at like the Cesaro section. This has become like
incredible.
A phenomenon. And so I do expect to be a part of the Divas Revolution, but I think timing is everything. And, it's going to be bittersweet for me to be at SummerSlam and kind of watching the girls, because truthfully, I'd be lying to you if I said, you know what, I don't want to be a part of it. Like, of course I want to be a part of it. I'm trying to navigate, how I how I answer those questions, because everybody on Twitter, Nick Foley will tweet me and be like, where are you in this? And I'm like, everybody settle their tea kettles. I will be involved. They're just saving the best for last.
Well, we hope so, because all they have to do is have a video of that match you had with Charlotte on NXT, and so that to any wrestling fan, almost every wrestling fan thought that was the match of the year. So that's all that you need to do.
And it's funny because we just had this beautiful built-in story as far as I felt like Brett and Rick really added to the ambiance and kind of the marquee value of the match.
In a big way.
At the same time, I felt like Charlotte and I really held our own against, you look at Ric Flair, you look at Bret Hart, and we were holding our own,
Well, that's a great point, in that there was a time in that match where you forgot that these two legends, these two Hall of Famers, were even outside the ring.
You're right, Doug.
I'm just I'm looking at art in the ring between a veteran who I want to see in every Divas match, and an up and comer who, you said it, we've said it, was green as grass, and then like a light bulb went off.
And it's very important. Actually, Brett mentioned this about Roddy Piper, because Brett and Roddy Piper were extremely close. And Brett had mentioned that Roddy Piper was one of the first people in his WWE career that actually paid it forward. And that in that era, in any era in this industry, it's very hard sometimes for somebody to relinquish something and give it to someone else, because we're human. Nobody wants to give up their spot. Everybody wants to be relevant. Everybody wants to feel special and important. But you look at, like I said, Brett had talked about Roddy Piper giving that to him, and he goes, in a time when nobody wanted to give me anything, Roddy Piper was so happy to pay it forward and to take all of his equity that he had built and be like, I want you to have it. And when I was approached about having this match with Charlotte Flair, I was like, that was my goal, because the true test of an amazing performer in the WWE and in the world of wrestling in general, the true test of a professional and somebody that is very good at what they do, is the ability to not only make somebody else look phenomenal, but to make yourself look phenomenal. And there was no way that everything I had learned, in Japan and in Canada and through the dungeon and through my family, there was no way that I wasn't going to have that all come together in that match, pay it forward to Charlotte, help build a new star, but also show that was the story.
Absolutely.
We're building someone new, and we're also Natty can still go, and that sharpshooter is very real.
And I don't think there was ever a question that Natty can still go.
Right.
And we could still go. Unfortunately, time is up. We have a million more questions for you. Hopefully we get a chance to chat again very soon. We hope to see you for sure. We know we'll see you, really, is probably the best way to put it, in this Divas Revolution. Obviously, we could watch you on Total Divas, which we do. We're obsessed with the show. A couple of guys talking pro wrestling, but we love Total Divas. Can't help ourselves.
I'm so glad you guys like it.
Also, please give our best to TJ and his recovery. That was really a very, very serious. We talked about it on the show, and Great job by Cesaro, representing
Yeah.
him. You see the armband and everything, and I've seen him do a sharpshooter every now and again.
He's
so
honoring TJ with the sharpshooter.
very,
which is
very
nice.
cool. Just great stuff out of you. Listen, wrestling is in this gal's DNA.
Absolutely.
It ain't going anywhere. You got Neidhart blood, you got Hart blood.
That's why we're
you
fans.
are wrestling.
Thank you guys
Can't
so
wait to
much.
see you in the squared circle soon. And good luck with Friskies, Nala Cat, Grumpy Cat, all sorts of cats. You are the cat lady. Thank you,
I
Natty.
actually brought a little pair of wrestling boots for each cat.
Oh
today,
my
Oh, boy.
goodness.
Crazy
They wanna
cat
lock
lady.
up
And now
work
she's
on-
crazy cat lady. Thanks, Natty.
Thank you guys so much. Like I said, if you guys want to work for me, just let me know.
All right, okay.
We're in.
I like
All
those
right.
compliments. I'll take them.
We're
got
it.